still at Tahoe, Sunday. I want to talk a little bit more about Peabody College. As I mentioned before, they had lots of nice music programs and some stimulating talks, and they also had a fun night. And on that fun night, early in the evening, I like to go play volleyball. I'd learned to play, I suppose, jungle volleyball while in the service over there in Korea. A net and a volleyball wasn't too hard for somebody to carry along, and was one of the few things we played when we had a chance to play. Well, our fun night had volleyball, and they didn't. Maybe it was before us all came in about you had to be so careful about how you set a ball and how you bumped the ball with two hands. And we used two hands linked together. We used two hands like so, and we set like so. And I could do that real well and had lots of fun playing volleyball. And then after volleyball, Donna would meet me, and I guess they had probably a babysitting service too, because the kids were occupied happily, and we would meet and we'd square dance. And Van Horn and his wife Sarah, Van was one of the staff members at Oklahoma State College. I keep wanting to think Southwestern, but I'm not sure about that. But they were a little older than us, and he was the square dance caller, and he made it fun, and he was a good teacher of it. We learned a lot, and it was really nice. He was also, he and his wife Sarah, treated us as friends, and it was just good for us, a very good experience to know them and to be in a circle that they took care of. The one professor that sticks in my mind from Peabody that I had a class with, Dr. Hill, always I respect and remember and think of him, the president of the college. But James Hymes, psychology teacher. So I'm enrolled in the class with a lot of little old ladies. I don't think there was any other men, maybe another one or two. I don't really remember. But I do remember that Dr. Hymes was part of this thing that we have now of, don't discipline your kids. It's going to be harmful for them. And I didn't buy that for 6 seconds. But I kept my mouth shut most of the time until something came up about their child pouring honey on their baby grand piano keys, and telling us how they had dealt with it. And boy, in my opinion, they didn't do anything right at all. They should have really got after that kid, and it should have been a little a pressure to the seat of the pants or a slap on the hands or whatever, because I just thought it was outrageous that they would let something like that happen, run a wonderful machine or make a very expensive repair necessary, and they just take it as a matter of course. Well, time went by, and if he wanted a radical conservative opinion, I got called on, and I usually was glad to provide. And then towards the end of the quarter, he had like a field day in reverse. Each of us was to bring into the classroom some artifact and relate it to how we thought it would serve as an instructional situation, teaching situation with children. Well, I dug out my paddle, took it and leaned it against the side of the classroom wall, and people brought their things in, and the professor comes in, and as he gets the class going, he would pick out this item or that item and ask who brought it and what their thought was on how it would serve. And he just didn't happen to see my paddle. Of course he did, and was playing a little game. And as the class period was getting shortened and most everybody had been called, one of the little old ladies, probably meaner than poison when she's out there with kids, said, "Well, Dr. Hymes, what about that thing over there in the corner?" "Whoa, who brought that in?" "I did." "Well, and for what purpose?" I said, "Well, as far as I'm concerned, that would serve real well in situations like kids putting honey on piano keys. We use it not often, but once in a while with our little ones. And at that time, we had 2 preschoolers. Oh, he did have a fit, and the little old ladies had a fit. And he was so indignant that I really thought, my gosh, I may have just flunked the course. Well, I didn't. The quarter ended, I got my A or B based on the work I'd done, the test scores and so on. And then one morning I'm going across the campus to another class this next quarter, and there's Dr. Hymes just a few yards ahead of me, and so I hustle right up there and catch him. "Dr. Hymes." And he knew me and spoke to me. I said, "I want to know, were you really as outraged about that paddle as you seem? Do you really think I will abuse children?" "Oh, no," he said, "I know you're kind of guy." He said, you aren't mean at all. But he said, "You got to watch it." He said, "Some of those ladies in there that were joining me and having a fit about that paddle, you don't want them having that paddle and thinking it's all right, because they will hurt children." He said, "Did you ever get abused as a student?" "Oh," I said, "not really." But he said, "Did you ever see a teacher pull a kid's hair or slap him?" "Oh," I said, "Did I ever?" Well, he said, "That's the kind of thing we can't have." He said, "We can rupture eardrums, we could do spine damage when people come up from behind a kid and hit him." He said, "That's why I stress that." Well, I wish it had ended at that level in our society, because I honestly think that we have thousands of kids today that join gangs to get discipline that cannot be given at home nor given by the schools.